Crescent Moon, The Velvet Story, Chapter 39, Pretend Crescent Moon. Where love blossoms in silence, and heartbreak whispers louder than words. Subscribe to The Velvet Story for more tales of love, longing, and unforgettable goodbyes. Maan watched her in pure admiration, a soft smile curling on his lips as memories of their togetherness flooded his mind. The way she had whispered his name still sent goosebumps down his spine. He was kissing her soft skin, lost in the moment, unwilling to close his eyes, even for a second. He could watch her like that till his last breath and still feel it wasn't enough. It was the wee hours of the morning, yet sleep had abandoned him. He didn't know why he was feeling this way. There was a strange restlessness in his heart. A part of him felt immense satisfaction, a deep sense of fulfillment. But there was also a growing fear, an unsettling emotion he couldn't shake off. He couldn't afford to lose her. That fear alone made him hold her closer, tighter, making sure she believed in him, hoping she trusted him enough to share her pain, or anything else buried in her heart. He knew something was bothering her, though he couldn't quite grasp what it was. He placed gentle kisses across her face and skin, places only his eyes had ever worshipped. "Maan," Geet moaned softly in her sleep. Please, sleep for a while," he murmured, running his fingers through her hair. "So that you can run away from here?" she asked with a teasing edge, now fully awake. Geet sat up slowly. "Yup," she answered, trying to sound playful. "Geet," Maan followed her movement, concern growing in his voice. "I can run away from you, Maan, but my soul, my heart, and my mind, they're all captured by you," she said with a quiet smile, pretending to think for a second. "So, you're not running anywhere, because what will you do without those?" Maan winked. Geet leaned forward and kissed his lips. "Right. Now sleep." She stayed up, watching him as his breath evened out and he drifted into sweet dreams. She hadn't lied when she said if she left, she'd be leaving everything behind. Bending forward, she kissed his lips, soft, long, and lingering. It was the kind of kiss that speaks more than words ever could. "Thank you, Maan, for fulfilling my dream," she whispered, her voice cracking ever so slightly. Scene shift. Maan woke up early that morning, his body stretching out instinctively to find her, but his hand met only cold emptiness. "Geet," he called out, confused. She was never an early bird. He quickly threw on his vest and track pants and checked the washroom. Nothing. Panic started to rise in his chest. He rushed to Abhi's room. To his shock, Abhi, Rosie, and Geet were all gone. Everything in the room was missing. No trace of them. "She left me," the thought dropped like a stone in his heart. Maan stumbled back into their room, frantically dialing her number. No answer. "The person you are trying to reach is not reachable." He called Rosie, then Rocky. Same result. Their phones were all unreachable. "Geet," Maan screamed, his voice echoing through the house. Everyone in the family came running, alarmed by his outburst. His eyes caught something on the table near their photo frame, a letter. His fingers trembled as he picked it up. The letter. "Maan, when you read this letter, I will be out of your life, forever and ever. I know you must be thinking I'm some cheap girl who used someone and walked away once she was done. Maan, I cheated you. At a time when you gave me so much happiness, I couldn't hold on to it. I thought, maybe that kind of happiness was never meant for someone like me. I won't say thank you for last night, because thank you is too small a word for what you gave me. I am now a woman who has known what it's like to feel whole, even if just for a moment. I gave you the worst memories, and yet you blurred them out from my life. You turned them into something beautiful. Now, life feels lighter, easier on me. You gave me everything, things I never even imagined I could have. And you did it all without asking for anything in return, without any demand or condition." The writing trails off, smudges of tears staining the ink. Maan knew she had been crying. His own tears now fell freely, matching hers. "You also gave me everything, Geet. Your pure touch turned me into a man." Maan thought silently, his heart breaking. "Maan, I'm so sorry, truly sorry, but even 1,000 apologies can't wipe away my sin. I will accept any blame you throw my way, because I deserve it. I am the miscreant here. What I did to you, it was wrong. You accepted me, gave me respect, gave me love. And still, I hid the truth about my leaving. But man, I knew. If you had known I was leaving, you would have stopped me. And I couldn't bear to make you choose between your loved ones and me. Her handwriting stops again, almost as if her heart paused too. I really like Prima auntie. She's not wrong, man. If she wants the best for her son, I'd do the same if I were in her place. Please don't think I made this decision because of her. I am the sole reason for this choice. I am an orphan. Anupama Mama gave me the motherly love I never had. She respected me, cared for me. She came back to consciousness last night and told me that Meet had already confessed to her about how I pretended to be her daughter after rejecting him. How could I ever accept his money after that? We have no relationship. None. From what relationship could I claim that right? Man, I showed my rights on you, unknowingly, unfairly, even when I knew I had none. And I still don't know why. We were pretending, once. But last night, you told me that our pretend relationship had ended long before. Geet's handwriting was shaken, smudged in places, her words trembling. Man could feel the pain dripping from every letter. He whispered to himself, "Why do I understand you so much, Geet? Why does your silence speak louder than your words?" Geet's letter continued, "Man, everyone said I was a bad omen for the Rathors, and I don't want to become a bad omen for the Khuranas too. If my absence can bring peace to your family, if my distance could return your happiness, then I will accept it. I'll walk away, without complaints, without resistance. After Anupama auntie, you all became my family. My real family, and I cannot be the reason that family suffers. Anupama auntie still doesn't blame me, but just because she didn't say anything, doesn't mean I'm not at fault. I am. Man, people say that if I had never stepped into this family, things would have been different. That maybe, Meet and Ali would still be alive. That Abhinav would be with his own parents. That Anupama Mama, instead of choosing me for her son, would have acknowledged his own desires. You know, man, I'm living with that guilt now. Every day, Ali was such a sweet girl. But she fell victim to guilt, one that wasn't even hers. Depression, man, it's so quiet, so invisible. She lost her life giving birth to Abhi. And Meet, he loved Ali deeply. He showed it when he chose silence over confrontation, when he didn't even come to me. Geet paused here. Man could feel her heart breaking through the pages. The doctor told me, man, Meet didn't want to live anymore. He chose death to meet Ali. But before leaving, he taught Abhi that I was his mother. He left me a gift, a beautiful piece of himself, in Abhi. And I realized that only recently. After all that, Anupama Mama couldn't accept the pain. She almost left this world too. But you, man, you brought her back. You stood with me, and brought her back to me. So how can I accept the happiness you are showing me now? How dare I, when I am the root cause of everyone's suffering? Man, I am a coward. Yes, a coward. But your love, your pure, selfless love, it gave me strength. And at the same time, it made me weak. Because now I have something to lose. And I don't want to lose any of you. I love you all. I-L-A. Her tears had washed away the rest of the word, but Man could feel what it was meant to say. I don't have the strength to fight against my destiny anymore. I can't let history repeat itself, Man. I can't be in Ali's place, and you, in Meet's. I won't allow you to become Geet's man. Who's left behind to raise a child and bear the scars? Who will be the one to accept our child, or Abhinav, if something happens to you? No, I won't let this happen. I won't let that happen, Man. Never. Please listen to Prima auntie. Move on, with the girl she chooses for you. Don't waste your time and your beautiful soul on someone like me. You may meet many women like me in life. But you'll never find another mother who loves you as deeply as she does, who would give her life just to see her children smile. She deserves your loyalty, your time, your happiness. If I know you all are happy, I will live in peace, even if I'm far away. Believe me, Sachi, Muchi, Man, only you and Babaji know that whatever I am doing, it's only for all our happiness. Please, Man, ask Dave not to hurt Meera. She is pure, naive. Please always stay by her side. Give my love to Amar Papa. Tell Dadi Mom that I respect her deeply. And Prima auntie, I hope I raise Abhi the way you raised your children, with values, love, and strength. They are so loving, so kind, and that comes from you. I know I don't have the right, but I'm still saying it. I love you, Geet. The letter slipped from Man's trembling hands. Everyone around him stood frozen, reading the words, feeling the ache. Tears fell from their eyes, no one could hold back anymore. Man sat on the floor, his back pressed against the bed, his world spiraling into silence. After a long pause, Dev's voice cracked through the air. Bhai, it's not too late. Let's go, we'll find her. Prema stepped forward, her own eyes red but shining with resolve. Yes, Man, bring my daughter-in-law back home. There was no doubt in her voice. It wasn't for formality, it was real, it was from the heart. Hope flickered in Man's chest. Dev quickly called Meera to ask about Geet's whereabouts, but even Meera was shocked. She had no idea that Geet had left, and that too. Without a word, wasting no time, Dev and Man rushed to the airport, hoping to trace her journey. At the airline counter, they were informed of her flight number and its route. They waited, watching, praying, hoping. And then, a chilling voice crackled through the airport speakers. We regret to inform you. Flight ABS 765 has crashed. Silence, suffocating silence. Man and Dev stood frozen, their breath knocked out of them. Destiny, why did it always have to be so cruel? Some stories are not about happy endings, they're about unforgettable hearts. If this chapter moved you, touched your soul, or left a lump in your throat, right finger like, share.